What's crackalacking? It's your boy Bro Schmo, just in case you did not know. So back again for day 2 of free agency, the day before free agency. It's kind of weird how that works out, you know, but yeah, a lot of news today. We're gonna go over the winners and the losers, but before that, become a bro and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. It really helps just helps the channel a ton, and I really hope you will do that. You'll notice it's a little more lit in here. I got a new light. I'm gonna be redoing the room in the next few weeks because I now have a lot of time on my hand because this stinking virus, man, is shutting places down. I actually work in the restaurant industry, and yeah, man, they just shut us down. I'm not in financial trouble or anything, you know, my wife works, I'm very good at saving and whatnot, but yeah, it's just wild how this is like affecting like the nation, and now it's like it's really just this past week how everything's so like changed so radically. I mean, initially I was planning on going to the draft, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just chill here and try to pump out content for you during that time. And now the draft is not even available to the public, so whew, I know I got one of my subscribers in there that ain't too happy about that, but yeah, it's just crazy. So but with this thing going on, just watch out for yourself, man. Ask for help if you need it. You know, you gotta help yourself before you can help others. But let's get to the video. No more of the downer, man. Oh man, Miss Downey McDownerson. That's dumb. Let's go. Let's talk football. Let's go over the winners. We're gonna start with the Cardinals. They're winners. They didn't really make any significant moves today. I mean, you could say Jordan Phillips, 3 years, 30 million. You might like the sack totals. A lot of those were cleanup sacks, so it's not necessarily indicative of how skilled or how disruptive he is as a pass rusher, but still, I like the moves from the day before. They are still winners in my book. And then the Falcons, they're still on that line. They made no moves today, so I get that they made a lot of moves in the sense that they released a ton of guys, but I get that they're kind of strapped for cap. So I don't know, man. I don't think the Falcons, by no means are they in a rebuild mode, but it's gonna be interesting, this draft for them. It's gonna be very telling of how their season will go, and especially how that offensive line, how those rookies, how they can progress in year 2. Baltimore Ravens, they're still winners. They made no significant moves today, but you gotta love what they're doing. They're acquiring picks, and they got guys like Calais Campbell for cheap. They got Brockers for a reasonable deal. So I like what they're doing. The Bills, still winners, man, and they actually made a ton of moves today. I think I may have mentioned this right at the end of last night. Mario Addison, his deal ended up being 3 years for 30 million, actually 30.45 million. Yeah, which it's like, okay, that's a bit much. It's a little, I think that's a little expensive for I think a Jerry Hughes light type of player. And I think they'd want more of a guy that's in that 5 to 6 tech. But you know, I don't mind it. He's a Bills type of player. You could say the same. Quentin Jefferson, Vernon Butler, I thought were nice pickups. There are no details on the deals there. They extended Jordan Poyer and AJ Klein. They got him at 3 years, 18 million. I think that's a little pricey. I mean, he's a quality linebacker, but I like what they have there at linebacker, so I don't mind grabbing the depth. And then Carolina, man, I'm kind of in the middle with them. Actually, let me pull this up real quick because I want to make sure I'm getting all this right. Yep, I got them right now. Like I like the Teddy Bridgewater move, because if you look at the deal, the specifics, 3 years, 63 million, it's actually very similarly structured to Mike Glennon's deal when he signed with the Bears. Was it the Bears? Yes, the Bears. Okay, man, my mind just for a minute. But it's very similar to where a lot of it's front loaded, and they could honestly get rid of him after 1 year without too much of dead money. So I like it. It's just a more expensive Mike Glennon deal for a guy who it's kind of a trial run, you know, this year. And like, if he does well, then cool, we got him on for another 2. And then they brought back Trey Boston. I really like that move a ton. Again, the moves before that, I'm not big fans of. Weatherly, Burst, I don't mind. I really hated the Okun trade, so I got them in this middle ground here. The Bears, I hate the Bears moves. I'm Robert Quinn, 5 years, $70 million. I don't know the details of the deal, so they might be able to get out maybe after a year or 2, maybe 3 years, but that's a lot of money for a guy on the wrong side of 30. I know he was pretty good last year, but I don't know. Some of y'all may like the deal. I was thinking maybe him at like $10 million per year. I was thinking he might get like a 2-year $20 million or a 3-year $30 million. So this was definitely way out what I thought he should have got. And then we have the Cincinnati Bengals. And I've moved them more into this middle ground now with today's moves. I thought they really, really overpaid for Trey Waynes. I thought he was more of a $9 to $10 million a year type of corner. They gave him what that ends up being $14 million a year. So I mean, you know what? He's a solid number 2 with William Jackson, yes, and DJ Reader. That's what I expected he would get, the money, you know, and he's been a solid player. And then last year he really broke out to a stud, and he really does occupy that zero tech. So he's going to be really good next to Geno Atkins. So I like the move, but still I wish they would do more in free agency, or wish they did do more. The Cleveland Browns, I'm still loving what they got going on. All they did was trade for a fullback today from the Broncos. It was real cheap. It was all they had to give away was a 2021 7th round pick. So they grabbed one of the better fullbacks in the league here. Dallas Cowboys, they're still winners, and I love what they've done today to kind of like bring back some of their depth there in Darian Thompson, Sean Lee on a 1-year $4.5 million, which I was about right. That's where I thought he was going to go. And then brought in Gerald McCoy on it looks like a 3-year deal. I like it. I like the Cowboys. I think they've made a lot of good moves, and now in the draft, man, they could really address value in the draft. And I think that's what I love most about it, especially in a draft that's very, very heavy on corners and wide receivers. I think this is going to be Dallas is going to be dangerous next year. Broncos, I still have them as winners. All they did today was get a 7th rounder they could use in 2021. But I still like the Simmons, hopefully getting an extension off the franchise tag. I like the Boye trade. I like the Glasgow contract. I think he's one of the better guards in the league after last season. And then Detroit, losers. And that, I mean, I just don't get what they're doing, man. I don't like the Jamie Collins pickup. I thought they spent too much money on it. You got Big V, spent way too much money on him. Nick Williams, who I accidentally in yesterday's video said he was re-signed with the Bears. He did not. But I like that move. But then Chase Daniels as your backup. I mean, we saw what he could do. He's a very average, if not below average, backup. Green Bay Packers, I got them in this middle ground because they've really done nothing outside of the Wagner Kersey deals. And if you want to know how I feel about that, go check out my last video. Houston Texans, guess what? They're just making all the wrong moves. They're down there. They're the losers. They're the biggest losers of this free agency. Not for the Hopkins trade. It's the contracts they've given to Cobb and Eric Murray. They managed to re-sign AJ McCarron 1 year, $40 million. So they got their backup quarterback. It's just been a tragedy of an offseason for the Texans. They need to get a GM in there ASAP. Bill O'Brien, man, what you doing? Indianapolis Colts, I still have them as winners. And the big move of the day is Phillip Rivers. You Raiders fans, man, y'all hated on my Raiders off-season video because I was like, yeah, they should go after Phillip Rivers. And now all I see is like, oh, the Colts are contenders now because they got Phillip Rivers. Granted, you're jumping into different scenarios there with the Raiders and the Colts. One team's much closer than the other. But it's just, I thought it was funny. I thought I should bring that up. So I like this here. And now, they got a ton of picks. Honestly, if they want to trade back into the first round, they can realistically do that. Especially if Jordan Love falls, man. Watch out for that, man. They could trade up. They got 2 second rounders they could trade up. They really, really want him. Jaguars, I got them in this middle ground. They're trending upwards now. I'm still waiting for them to trade Yannick Ngakoue, but a lot of these moves are starting, like, for me, it kind of, he wants out. I don't see any way they can extend him. I guess they might just be looking for the right price, but they got 4th and a 5th rounder for Boye and Campbell, which that they could have got done better than that. But I like the Schubert deal, him next to Miles Jack. You bring in 2 guys that can be very phenomenal in coverage. And then Denard, I thought, was a very interesting pickup because I thought they were kind of already established at slot with the was it DJ Hayden? Because he was honestly, he was their best corner last season, and he's the slot. And I feel like Denard, that's kind of like, that's where he was flourishing last season for the Bengals, was in the slot. So I mean, they brought him in on a 3 years, $13.5 million. I can't be mad. It's a really good contract. So I got the Jaguars trending more towards the winner's side at this point. Chiefs, I got them on the line because they've done nothing. It's the status quo. I think they're just working on this extension for Jones. Granted, they don't have a lot of space to work with anyway. So you can't really say that they're losers. But again, they're not really free agent winners because they really haven't done anything. Las Vegas Raiders, I'm moving them into the winner category. I don't know what the details are of the Marcus Mariota trade. I love it. Kowalski, I love it. Corey Littleton, and especially, he's only getting $12 million a year. I thought he was going to be closer to that 14. That's great. I love it. It's a great deal. Corey Littleton, now the linebacker core looks a lot better. I like the additions of Carl Nazib and Malik Collins onto the defensive line. I mean, Mike Mayock, he really likes football players. Those guys are football players in the most true sense to the word, you know what I'm saying? Safety, Jeff Heath. I don't love it, but it's only 2 years, $8 million. So it's whatever. Jason Witten's interesting, but I mean, honestly, I think he would still be he's the 3rd tight end there on the depth chart, because I really like Waller and oh man, Moret? I don't know. It's a French name. Dang it, I'm French, man. I should know that. Half French. So, Chargers, they're still winners. I know they don't have Phillip Rivers. We already knew that what was going on there. They lost out on Brady. That sucks. But honestly, going with Tyrod Taylor is not a bad option. If they really want a quarterback, they can maybe get it in the draft. But I like I said, I like the Hunter Henry tag and potentially get an extension there. I like the Eckler deal. I like the trade for Turner. And then I love the deal for Balaga because I think he's getting a lot less than what he probably would be asking for. So 3 years, $30 million. If they want, they could go and they could draft another tackle if they want in the draft. I really like what they're doing. The offensive line looks very much improved. Rams, they're still on the losers. They ain't doing nothing. They're too busy. It looks like they're trying to move Gurley. It looks like they're looking for anywhere between a 2nd or 4th round pick for him. But it sounds like any team interested, they really want to restructure his deal, which I don't blame them. You know, you don't want a guy with deteriorating, knees come in, and you don't want to pay those guys big money, let alone running backs. So, yeah, they're working hard trying to retain some of their guys. They've lost Corey Littleton. I think they released, who was their nickel corner? I can't think of it on the top of my head. Bring it up. Here? Oh yeah, Roby Coleman. So they declined the option on him. I think that makes him an unrestricted free agent now. But I mean, they're trying hard to free up some cap space. They're in cap space hell. They put themselves there. They're trying to get themselves out. Miami Dolphins, man, I've come around to it. I got them here on the verge of winners. I really like the deals today with Ogba and Howard. Howard's getting a very similar deal to Tevin Coleman from San Fran. So honestly, they could opt out of it after the first year. So I like that. They still allows them to come and bring in someone else. They're a running back, someone a little more dynamic in the pass game. And then the boy Emmanuel, I think he's very underrated, and he's going to be a good part of the rotation. I've come around to Lawson, and I wouldn't say I've come completely around. I like the Jones deal just because corner is that important of a position. The Van Noy, I feel like he's getting too much. Same with Shaq Lawson, but you know what? They had the money to spend. They're bringing in players that can really make an impact on this team. And I really wish they would bring in some offensive linemen, not Eric Flowers. He don't count. I know some of y'all are like, oh well, you gotta spend money, but I don't think I could ever get behind $10 million for Eric Flowers, who, again, he played very well in parts of last year. He was pretty good last year, but throughout his career, yes, he played out of position. He should have been guard, but he's been known to be lazy in the locker room, or lazy on the field, just a bad work ethic. That's what I'm trying to say. I know Flores, he does wonders. He won't take that crap, but you got a guy with that reputation. Not saying this is still that guy. It's just there's some worries, but I get it. Vikings, I've kind of moved them back over into this middle territory because they made no moves today, and I do like the Diggs. I do like the picks they got back for Diggs, but I don't know. It just still feels like they're in this just. I don't know. You know how Kirk Cousins is as a quarterback. That guy that always can get his team close to making the playoffs. Last year, he got his team to the playoffs. And the team coming back this next season, on paper, doesn't look any better. It looks worse. So are we going to see Cousins regress back into that maybe 8-8, 7-9 type of quarterback? I don't know. It really depends what they do with their picks, but I don't hate what they've done in free agency. Patriots, though, I've hated it. I don't hate it. That's not true. But it's all gone downhill since Brady left. Honestly, this offseason kind of hedged on if they could get Brady. They could, and now who are they going to bring in? Because they missed out on Phillip Rivers. I mean, now they got Stidham at quarterback. The only deal they made today was they got Bird from the Cardinals, the former Cardinals receiver, put him on a 1-year deal. It's all I gotta say is, you know what, Tom Brady, it sucked having you in the division. I'm a Dolphins fan. It really sucked. I mean, yeah, I wish I could say it. I hate to see you leave, but no, I love it. I'm loving it. Have fun in Tampa, dude. Ta-ta. The division's wide open now. Or maybe the Bills are just going to run roughhouse because that offense looks insane. New Orleans Saints, I got them here just in the middle. I think they've uphold the status quo. They got Breeze back. They managed to get Kiko Alonso to take a pay cut, which is good. So it looks like they're really going to try to make moves in the draft. I don't see them really doing much from here on out. The Giants, so I have them as losers. Blake Martinez, I don't think he's that much of an upgrade from Ogletree, so I really hate that. I like them re-signing Mayo. I don't think Mayo's a bad depth piece at linebacker. Fackrell, I thought they got him for a really good price. I don't know why they had to bring in another tight end. That kind of puzzles me, let alone at 2 years, 6.2 million. So yeah, I just really haven't liked it. It really depends on especially what this defense is going to look like for Joe Judge, because that Bradbury signing, that could backfire big time. I mean, it really depends, because I mean, he's coming from this Patriot way of doing things, and the Patriot way is press man coverage, and that's not really Bradbury's wheelhouse. He's better off man coverage. So it'll be interesting. I don't know. It's kind of a wait and see, but I just haven't liked the moves here. The Jets, I've kind of softened on the Jets. I still hate the George Fant thing. I know you do too, and you know who I'm talking to. But I actually really like the Connor McGovern. He was actually one of the better centers in the league last year. Granted, centers overall didn't play that well last season, but he was one of the better ones. They got him at a very reasonable deal, 3 years, $27 million. Bringing back Alex Lewis, who was their second best offensive lineman last year. Yes, Brian Winters was better than him last year. Don't at me. But yeah, the interior of the offensive line at least looks better. They probably could still address tackle in the draft. Maybe they go receiver. I don't know. I like that they're addressing this bad offensive line. I don't know. It's the Fant thing. It just really, really, really gets me down. Eagles, I got them here in the middle, man. The Hargrave thing, if you go back to my video yesterday, I was puzzled by it. I didn't hate the move. I just questioned it. And then today, they brought back Jalen Mills for cheap. They plan to put him at safety. McLeod, he's coming back 2 years, $6 million. He's okay. He's average. I expected Malcolm Jenkins because he wanted to restructure his contract. He wanted to get paid more. And I didn't think they were going to do that. So it wasn't surprising for him to get released. So I don't know. I really like Hargrave. I just try to make sense of it, Maybe they will attack corner and receiver in the draft hard. So Steelers, they're losers, man. They've done nothing good. They've made a few cuts. Talked about it yesterday. Again, check that video out. Bud Dupree, I don't like the Bud Dupree franchise tag. I think he had a breakout season, and even then he really, really didn't finish well down the home stretch. I think you could just get someone better in with that second round pick you have, that first pick they have in the draft. But what really seals the deal is they're paying Derek Watt $3.25 million a year for a fullback. Yeah, I'm kind of done with that. 49ers, they didn't make any significant moves today. They're still winners. Jimmy Ward, a little pricey, but I like it. I loved them getting the first rounder for Buckner, and I love them getting Armstead back for cheap, going basically with the cheaper of the two great interior players there. And then Armstead actually has the ability to play on the edge too. He's a little more versatile than Buckner was. And then we got the Seahawks, man. I got them borderline losers here because they haven't done much of anything. I mean, they shored up their tight end spot, kind of. They brought back Reed, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see if they make any sign-ins the next few days. Change my opinion on that. Then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know y'all want to know this, and I got them. They're not winners. They're close, though. And I'll tell you why I don't think Tom Brady necessarily makes this a win of an offseason just yet. I talked about why I was kind of indifferent about their moves, or especially it was more the JPP contract. A lot of people love it. I'm not a big fan of it. But Tom Brady, you just got to think about this. Can Arians and Brady coexist? Because the type of quarterback Brady is right now, it's not really in line with Bruce Arians' vertical scheme. He really likes those intermediate to long routes. Brady, he don't quite have the same arm, but I mean, you know what? He's still a really good player. He's still a top 10 quarterback in this league, top 5. So you can't hate it too much. The Bucs went out and they got someone who won't throw 30 interceptions in a year. So I can't hate it too much. That's why I got them borderline winners right now. And I mean, Brady, he's going to make it. He's going to make a lot of people want to come to Tampa now. So, interesting. Interesting. Tennessee Titans, I got them here in the middle after really hating yesterday. I talked about how I really didn't like the Tannehill contract, how I didn't like them franchising Derrick Henry, and it just how I thought they went about retaining both those players in the wrong way, basically the wrong order. So, but I love the Dennis Kelly. I love the 3 years, $21 million. But the Vic Beasley, 1 year, $9.5 million. I like it because now he's going to be able to do a lot of different things, which the Falcons tried to use him like that in kind of like a funky base 4-3 there in Atlanta. So now you got more of a base 3-4 where they ask the linebackers to not necessarily rush all the time. They do a lot. They do a lot more contain, a lot more drop back into coverage. So honestly, this could be a big year for Vic Beasley. I like the contract. It's very affordable. So good on you, Titans. And then the Washington Redskins. Well, I got the Redskins. They're getting I have them close with the losers, but I got them right here in the middle just because I like that they have established filling in holes. That's what I say about free agency. Free agencies to fill in those holes in your roster so you can go to the draft and draft value. Draft the best players available. And they've kind of done that. They've done that with at guard. They've done that at corner with Kendall Fuller. And then today they shored up all their linebackers spots. They basically just hey, we're doing a whole new linebacker core. They brought in Thomas Davis, which I really liked. And I love the Kevin Pierre-Louis deal. I think they could get him. I love how cheap they got him, but I definitely think they could probably extend him after this season. He played very well last year. Because Thomas Davis, let's be honest, he's probably going to be a 2-down linebacker. They brought back John Bostic, but he's more of just a tackling machine. You know, he doesn't really offer too much in any other area. So while I'm not in love with their moves, I really wish they made more of a bigger impact in free agency. I don't mind them going and being like, all right, we need to fill in a few holes here. Honestly, if they can move Trent Williams and get a valuable pick, like a second rounder for him, good on you. But that's it for the video. Go ahead and do the YouTube thing. It's always much appreciated, much obliged. But yeah, I should have plenty more content in the channel since my store's closed for the next month. So till next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.